side, west side.
Perfect.
It's the sauce, ho, you know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try to steal the sauce, but they ain't got the fresh ingredients. I know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink, what up Tenny, what up Ray Ray, what up Spitz, 10 toes down since the beginning. If I miss you, I ain't dish you. Call the sauce line if you got an issue. From the Rockies, the Stroud, Texans, the Dynamo, Houston's #1 sports show, brought to you by Honcho.
Perfect.
North side, south side, east side, west side. It's the sauce, ho, you know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try to steal the sauce, but they ain't got the fresh ingredients. I know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink, what up Tenny, what up Ray Ray, what up Spitz, 10 toes down since the beginning. If I miss you, I ain't dish you. Call the sauce line if you got an issue. From the Rockies, the Stroud, Texans, the Dynamo, Houston's #1 sports show, brought to you by Honcho.
Perfect.
North side, south side, east side, west side. It's the sauce, ho, you know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try to steal the sauce, but they ain't got the fresh ingredients. I know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink, what up Tenny, what up Ray Ray, what up Spitz, 10 toes down since the beginning. If I miss you, I ain't dish you. Call the sauce line if you got an issue. From the Rockies, the Stroud, Texans, the Dynamo, Houston's #1 sports show, brought to you by Honcho.
Perfect.
North side, south side, east side, west side.
Perfect.
It's the sauce, ho, you know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta.
Hey, hold up, baby. We got a lot to talk about. It's a lot going down, but I'm going to take the win however we get it. It's the first one of the year. It's on the right track. Y'all give me just a little bit. We're going to get it all together here. I'm tricking a couple little things behind the scene. But while we waiting, you know, how we do. Well, y'all, let's shout out your side with pride. If y'all in the chat, drop a WTMFD or what's the motherfucking deal. Drop your side wherever you reside. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of things to address, a lot of things I saw that I particularly wasn't a fan of. But again, sometimes you got to get gritty. And again, it's a divisional game. You know how those divisional games go. Absolutely fuck the Colts. You know, we ain't rocking with them. We ain't rocking with again. Like I said, give me just a minute. Woo. Damn, the Saints smoked the Panthers. Yeah, give me just a minute. We're going to be rocking here real live as we get this thing going. Give me just a moment. Like I said, while I'm getting the tweaking a couple little things in the background, and we'll be live. Give me just a minute. We'll put that live-ass song back on for y'all. Hold up.
What the hell is Saul Sports or whatever that last call was talking about? What the hell is that?
Guys are from Free Love, man.
Perfect.
North side, south side, east side, West Side.
Perfect.
It's the sauce, ho. You know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try to steal the sauce, but they ain't got the fresh ingredients. I know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink. What up, Tenny? What up, Ray Ray? What up, Spitz? 10 toes down since the beginning. If I miss you, I ain't dish you. Call the sauce line if you got an issue. From the Rockies, the Stroud, Texans, the Dynamo, Houston's #1 sports show, brought to you by Honcho.
Perfect.
North side, south side, east side, west side. It's the sauce, ho. You know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try to steal the sauce, but they ain't got the fresh ingredients. I know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink. What up, Tenny? What up, Ray Ray? What up, Spitz? 10 toes down since the beginning. If I miss you, I ain't dish you. Call the sauce line if you got an issue. From the Rockies, the Stroud, Texans, the Dynamo, Houston's #1 sports show, brought to you by Honcho.
Perfect.
North side, south side, east side, west side. It's the sauce, ho. You know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try to steal the sauce, but they ain't got the fresh ingredients. I know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink. What up, Tenny? What up, Ray Ray? What up, Spitz? 10 toes down since the beginning. If I miss you, I ain't dish you. Call the sauce line if you got an issue. From the Rockies, the Stroud, Texans, the Dynamo, Houston's #1 sports show, brought to you by Honcho.
Perfect.
North side, south side, east side, west side.
Perfect.
It's the sauce, ho. You know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try to steal the sauce, but they ain't got the fresh ingredients. I know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink. What up, Tenny? What up, Ray Ray? What up, Spitz? 10 toes down since the beginning.
What the hell is Saul Sports or whatever that last call was talking about? What the hell is that?
Guys are from Free Love, man.
North side, south side, east side, west side.
Perfect.
It's the sauce, ho. You know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try to steal the sauce, but they ain't got the fresh ingredients. I know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink. What up, Tenny? What up, Ray Ray? What up, Spitz? 10 toes down since the beginning. If I miss you, I ain't dish you. Call the sauce line if you got an issue. From the Rockies, the Stroud, Texans, the Dynamo, Houston's #1 sports show, brought to you by Honcho.
Perfect.
North side, south side, east side, west Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink, what up Tenny, what up Ray Ray, what up Spitz, 10 toes down since the beginning. If I miss you, I ain't dish you. Call the sauce line if you got an issue. From the Rockies, the Stroud, Texans, the Dynamo, Houston's #1 sports show, brought to you by Honcho.
Perfect.
North side, south side.
What's the motherfucking deal, man? Hit that like button first and foremost. Y'all was acting stingy with the likes. You know, I know there's probably some hating ass Colt fans in here looking for something to complain about. Oh, what happened is, shut y'all bitch ass up. We don't care about none of that. Man, if you're a Texans fan, that's the way to start the season, ain't it? You know, it was a little closer than maybe early predicted, but it's a lot of shit to discuss. Man, I ain't even get my little thing. A lot of shit to discuss, a lot of shit to talk about, and we're gonna jump right into that. But I am being joined by the Mystic One himself. You shout out to the people.
Man, in the spirit of Jameis Winston, let's eat this W. We eating W's, baby.
Oh, baby. Eating W and brisket queso. Y'all give me like 10 seconds. I forgot like one little thing. But we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the good. We're going to talk about the bad. We're going to talk about the happy and the sad. A few little things that Texas going to need to work on moving forward. Because, again, we're not looking at the Colts as a contender. But it's also, again, a divisional game. And you can never count an opponent out in a divisional game because those games just tend to have wonky-ass outcomes sometimes. But, you know, a lot of that I want to blame on that raggedy-ass turf, too. You know, that shit was trash. And I think that played a big factor in a few things. But like I said, we're going to discuss all that. Give me, like I said, 10. With it being the first game of the season, man, you mean it's only so much you can expect. You can't expect perfection. You know what I mean? But the Texans did look pretty good on a few fronts. But before we dive into it again, like I say, Sauce Nation roll call. Shout out to Side with Pride. You repping the east side, west side, north side, wherever you're from. You know, shout out to Side with Pride. Your block, hood, avenue, cul-de-sac. Your facility, because some of y'all motherfuckers crazy. Y'all probably belong in the crazy house. Whatever you represent, however you getting down, go ahead and drop that in the chat. We'll show a little bit of digital love your way. But let's go, man. So let me see what we got in this bitch, and then we're gonna get into it. L Heights, what's the motherfucking deal? Skirt. Oh yeah, and then we're gonna do. We got some more gift memberships to give. I'm happy to get these motherfuckers away since we actually won. Yeah, Skirt 99, L Heights, Matt. Let me see Marquise, Pay Q. What's the motherfucking deal? Jabari. Let's see Mark Parrish. Let's see. KBZY. Magnificent Mercury. Let me see who will miss them. Trust me, if I miss you, I don't never dish you. Kenneth, what's the motherfucking deal? Dewey Harris, what's the motherfucking deal? Wade Face, Antoine Gilmore, D Love, Mary. Let me see. Houston B. Let me see. Josh Cooper, J Mac, Ronaldo. Let's see. Only win. A win is a win, baby. They ain't gonna look at the end of the season. Well, you know, if we calculate the amount of points that the victories were done by, we're gonna have to. We won. That's all that fucking matters. Especially playing on that raggedy ass field, and them raggedy ass Colts. You'll take it. Let's see. Let me see. That boy Los, what's the motherfucking deal? Texas Outlaw, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Wade, what's the motherfucking deal? Brandon, what's the man? Look, Brian Herrera, these true the true slanger. What's up? What's the motherfucking deal? HTX Panda, Quell Man, Life of Kobe. Let me see. Aurelius. And 335. You already know. Peace. And if I miss you again, I promise I ain't this. 4-4 Big Teddy, what's the motherfucking deal? Danny, what's the motherfucking deal? J-Pack, what's the motherfucking deal? All right. Miles and that yak. A lot of stuff. Cavity creep in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? TD. Standing for Texans division. That's what that shit stands for. We already winning the motherfucking division. That's the type of shit we on, baby. Man, so what we like to talk about usually when we get into it, man, is the good, the bad, and the ugly. And Mr. Mystic Male, I'm going to let you start off. Looking at today's game, what was your good, your bad, and your ugly when it came to the Texans today? What was the game period?
Well, obviously the good was we got the dub. The bad, we got some work to do in the secondary. Gave up too many bad plays, which also plays into the ugly. Ward giving up that big play towards the end there. I'm not gonna harp too much on some of the running plays that Richardson was able to make. We know he's a dynamic athlete. That just comes with the territory. But we just gotta shore up the back end of that defense. It was a little bit sloppy on offense too, but it's the first game of the season. They were slipping and sliding on that turf, so kind of gotta take the good with the bad on this one.
Yeah, definitely. Say volume low, can we cut you up on that? My bad. And I agree. It's not too much negativity to harp on, but there are things that playing against more quality teams that could be a problem, like you said, on the back end of that defense. Ward gave up a few big chunk plays, and especially with him being more of a veteran guy. Let me see. You might be on this end. Okay, so I think you should be. Okay, there you go. Yeah, this should be loud right there. Like I said, yeah. Ward gave up a few big chunk plays. I didn't like that. I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple of times Stingley didn't look stingish, but it didn't really hurt us too bad. But it's just something you want to see or that you're not really expecting from Sting. I would say the good again, the victory. The bad, I would say, if we're just gonna highlight one particular person, Ward. And the ugly was just them lucky ass passes that what's his name got off. I mean, if you really take away them two big chunk plays that he had,
right.
His statistics, stats were anemic. I mean, it was really a pedestrian passing game. Honestly, he just had, and I mean, you can't take that. You don't get to take that off the board. But I'm just saying, when you take those two big plays away, he really wasn't a great passer this game. He's a lesser Lamar in my opinion.
Yeah, I believe even the broadcasters pointed that out. If you take those two passes away, I think he had 41 yards and a pick.
Yeah.
So,
So, like I say, you can take it. Like I say, I'll take it. If that's the way you got to beat us, I mean, I hope that doesn't continue on throughout the season. I hope we clean that up. So, if you were to pick one player today that stood out, maybe had some unexpected plays, just kind of say, hey, I was impressed, or maybe you were expected by, who would be your player of the game today?
I think it's obvious we got to give it to Mixon. 150 yards, 159 yards rushing. I don't think anybody realistically expected that. He came out there, had a hell of a game. And honestly, he probably left some on the field. He had a couple runs that he could have broke. Just overall solid, man, and really was the deciding factor. Able to, he gave us the ability to run out the clock at the end, and it would have been a lot different game without his effort today.
I agree. Now I'm gonna go a little bit different, and I see some people in the chat saying Mixon. Can't disagree. I see some people saying Nico. Nico had a huge. Nico was looking like Andre Light at the end of the game when he made that fucking. That was an incredible catch, and it was an incredible throw,
hell of a throw,
because he put that bitch in a window. I mean, a closing window, like a car window that's driving down fucking I-10. Like he put that bitch in a window.
He put, you know how they got the little corner window on the back window?
Yeah.
He put that bitch in that corner window.
Yeah, he put that bitch in there. But I'm going to say something different. Because of the outcome of the game, I'm going to give player of the game to somebody nobody's going to expect, and especially because this man has been on the negative end of slanders for some seasons now. I'm giving it to Eric Murray. This may be a different outcome. If Eric Murray don't make that play on that 2-point conversion, we may be having a different conversation right now. You know what I mean?
Very true.
And I want to go back on something I said. Right? And I know y'all talking about Murray, Eric Murray. But shout out to Juan. What's the motherfucking deal? Painkiller. What's the motherfucking deal? Kaimi did what he was supposed to do. I'm gonna change my thoughts. The ugly was the bullshit that happened at the end of the first half with the play clock.
It was the play clock.
Yeah, you had 15 seconds and 5 seconds, and you go back and I don't know if the Colts fans punked the refs into changing it or what. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to. I don't really know what happened right there. But shout out to D'Amico for not pointing fingers, say, hey, we should have been prepared there. We should have been ready, because it's still, even with 5 seconds left on the clock, whether the clock was stopped or not, I think it was still a sketchy decision to try to squeeze a play in. Then, if you're going to try.
I think that situation, he wasn't aware that it was going to be a running clock, because the Colts had called a timeout. Mm-hmm. And they didn't make it clear after they decided to set the clock back to 5 seconds. They even gave Indianapolis the timeout back.
Oh.
So what it was they decided was you put the clock back to 15, but it was a 10-second runoff, and the clock would be running. So they didn't. The refs didn't do a good job of explaining, exactly what their decision was. They just said we're setting the time back to 5 seconds. They didn't say the clock will be running on our down or nothing like that. So, but like you said, I like to see that D'Amico, held himself accountable for that. At the end of the day, he's the head coach. So, but
Left,
how many times
right,
is it gonna happen
do
in
it,
a season?
left, do
A
it,
situation
right,
like
do
that.
it.
So,
Oh. I bet you wish he would crank his arm, Heidi. Shout out to J-Mac Production, a.k.a. the key man, the key bar. Appreciate the love. Say, anybody needs certificate? Yeah, make sure you go to the, man, I don't know if I have them on the thing. I said, I'm rusty. I ain't been doing all my stuff. Make sure you go hit that Saul Sports shop. Get you some of that unique, one and only. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me look at my little window deal here. Some of that, we won't call it Texans merch, but get you some of that merch. Support the home team. Support the home stream. You feel me? So, yeah, like I said, it was a few little clusterfucks that happened in this game, a few little hiccups, a few little mishaps, but ultimately, I think the Texans played well. You mentioned Mixon leaving some stuff on the field, and I think that field and the lack of quality of that field played more of an impact on this game than people realize. Maybe it was just me, but it didn't seem like CJ was really planting into some of the throws. It didn't seem like guys were, able to really kind of get their weight into certain things. There was a couple of runs where Mixon looked like he was running kind of like, don't get me wrong, he was definitely delivering some punishment, but there was a couple of where you felt like he could have broke. He had some yards in front of him, but it just felt like he wasn't, putting his foot in the ground. Like, I don't know if that was a turf issue. I don't know if it was a cleat issue or what, but it just didn't seem like, I felt like that was more of an issue that people want to bring up. But everybody has to play on the same field, so, guys ain't going to complain about it, that much. But
Heidi is a fucking business friend.
I fucking hate it. But yeah, man. But again, so the fact that we start off leading the division, of course, everybody else fucked up, and we handled our business like we were supposed to. Nobody believed, and I seen some of the Jags fans getting all this. Like, you knew what was going to happen. Ultimately, with that, especially with what's his name getting beat up by the police before the game. There was no way the Jags was going to win that game. I don't even know why they thought they had a chance. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But looking at it, so there's a couple of notes I took down. Tunsil still bothers me a lot with these false starts. At this point, this has been something that throughout his career as a Texan has been a problem. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, at this point, what do you do? Of course, he's one of the better tackles in the league. Are you willing to take 2 or 3 false starts a game? But, you know, that comes along with the rest of the quality play. Like, to me, that's it's very frustrating. But what do you do about that? You know, what are your thoughts on Tunsil and these continued false starts?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I would hope he would have nipped in the bud by now. I'm gonna try to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like I said, it's the first game of the season. You know, the Colts Stadium is known for being one of the loudest, and but you can't have that from one of your best players in key situations like that. Honestly, when they called the one on Kenyon Green, I was surprised that they didn't say Tunsil. So that just goes to show how bad he's been with it. But like I said, first game of the season, I'm gonna give him some grace, and hopefully he gets it sorted out.
Well, it's like, yeah, you know, like, we got a lot of kinks, a lot of things to iron out in the first game of the season, but it's kind of frustrating, especially for him to be a guy who should be a leader on that line, you know, setting an example. Let's talk about the other side of that. The guy that, you know, in the sauce has never really been a fan favorite. You know, some other people have tried to justify his existence on this team for several years now, and that's cool, I guess. Tyus Howard, how do you feel like he played today?
I mean, by Tyus Howard standards, it wasn't bad. You know, we've definitely seen him have worse games. His worst play was when basically he caused a sack with having his legs out there for CJ to trip over. But I mean, altogether, there could have been more to see from the O-line as a whole today. They gave up 4 sacks. I'm gonna count 3 of them. One of them was kind of on the turf with CJ tripping and sliding, but there's certain things that can't happen. We got to keep CJ clean, but I won't put that all on Howard. I think the whole line has to get better.
In the background, but yeah, you know, I think that I agree. When he kind of caused that sack, I was very frustrated about that because he was kind of getting his ass drove. And I want to say, was it when I think we went for a 2-point conversion? He kind of got his ass flattened a little bit, and I felt like, you know, he was kind of problematic there. So it was a couple little notes, and then one, me not being a big fan of Howard, so that may make every little mistake he makes stand out that much more to me. You know, because we can go all the way back, and this motherfucker's would tell you he was going to be rookie of the year. Shut the fuck up. And to me, I just don't feel like he's panned out. His mentality to me is kind of weird. But anyway, we won, so I'm not going to hate on Howard.
That's a good point that Mark Elizondo just made in the chat. Like, they did great as far as run blocking today.
Yeah,
I mean, they did amazing run blocking. They just got to tighten up some things pass blocking wise, and I think we'll be fine. And we all know if he don't get his shit together, we got depth. So, you know.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because I mean, if we're gonna talk about pass blockers, yeah, you got to throw Tunsil in there too, because I want to say Buckner got him a couple of times, and it didn't really, didn't look too Tunsil-esque.
Right.
Let's see. Let's talk about the 2 big game guys today. Right. I know TD. I know you've been ready since last season to put the gold jacket on Nico. So we're gonna talk a little about Nico. Nico is like, I like Nico since we drafted him, because again, we hadn't had a receiver with that size, that body type. Again, really to me since Andre. But it just took a little bit for him to come into his own. You got to look at the quarterbacks he had to play with up until this point. But once you got him a guy who was solid, I mean, quality. I mean, he's been amazing. He's been one of the better receivers in the league, and that goes to show you how much quarterback play matters. But at the same time, some of these catches that he's making catches over 2 guys guard him, hanging off of him. Like I said, the catch he made towards the end of the game to keep the drive going, so we can run the clock out. Nico,
even the play when CJ scrambled and threw it across his body on that third down to keep the drive going. If you really look at it, everything Nico did today was big time. Yeah. Everything came at a crucial moment. Everything that he did was game changing. So yeah, I gotta give it up to him. You know, big play Nico. He did his thing today. Wish he could have got a touchdown in there, but that leads me to talk a little bit about what Stephon was able to do today. Diggs really showed up in his first game with us. 2 TDs, one very crucial TD. So I really like what I saw out of receivers. I wish CJ wouldn't have missed Tank on that one touchdown. If he would have threw it more to the inside of the field, I think that would have been a touchdown. But overall, it was a great game by all the receivers. They didn't really get Schultz involved too much, which kind of surprised me. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the first game, so I'm sure as the season progresses, we'll see them really get to rolling in this offense.
And I'm glad somebody mentioned that block kick. That's what this game really shouldn't have been as close as it was, because I mean, there's really 3 plays you take away, and the Colts really aren't on the board. Like I said, you take that block kick, you take those 2 big passes that where they were able to get behind the defense.
Right.
It's a different ball game. But again, they happen. It is what it is. All a part of the game. But statistically, it wasn't close, because the conversation was the Colts, Jonathan Taylor, Anthony Richardson, they were going to run all over the Texans. They were going to be able to, do this, that, and the third. Who was it?
To play devil's advocate, yeah, we can take those fluke plays away, but also if he doesn't miss Mitchell on 2 wide open touchdowns, it could be a totally different game too. So,
So like I said, yeah, there's a lot really on that back end of defense that definitely has to be looked at. I see everybody saying Mixon got the game ball. Mixon, I mean, as his first game as a Texan, you didn't see him in the preseason. I mean, I think people expected him to play well, but he allowed the Texans to play their game and not to just be outrageous. I'm not saying he is, because I know what people are going to do. He said he's area fault, but he gave the Texans the ability to control the ball, and it was reminiscent of the days of Arian Foster, because that you could control that clock. You put it in his hands, you were able to extend those drives, especially late in game when you need to, that you could rely on the running back. You didn't want to necessarily put it in the air because it's close, and that's something that I don't feel like we've had consistently in a while. Like, yeah, we've had decent backs. We've had guys who've come in and played good games. This didn't seem like a one-off thing. I'm not saying I'm expecting to get $150 every game, but I don't think you would be out of your league to say he should average nearly 100 a game or close to 100 yards a game. Because if the line's blocking like they do, the way he was moving the ball, again, like you said, he left a lot on the field. I would not be surprised if he averages $1 a game.
And shout out to Damian Pierce, man. It was good to see him have a positive run. it was so good to see him actually get some yards.
Yeah, they was hating on my boy Pierce. They've been trying to trade my boy Pierce. They've been trying to get rid of him. Looked like Darwin's getting a little bit more love early on, but Pierce, he did what he had to do late in the game. But yeah, it was good because I'm a Pierce fan. I hate to see the fall off that took place, because after that rookie year, you had a great rookie, and it's just you haven't really seen that. So maybe, just maybe, there's some hope there. Maybe, just maybe, there's some hope there. Let's see what else. There's a couple other things. Let me see. Talking about Tunsil is nonsense. What about the young dude, a Bullet? Bullet with the INT, a great play.
Nice INT, and really on that second to last drive that the Colts had, he could have had a second interception had our boy Toa not tip that ball that he tried to throw into the end zone that was going straight into Bully's hands. But a great game by a rookie safety. He played really sound, wasn't out of position. So yeah, good. I expect great things from him just based off of how he looked today. He seems to be somebody that's very disciplined. So.
Man, that was the motherfucking deal. Yeah, I mean, and again, I don't expect Mixon to get 30 carries a game. Like I say, I think there was a lot left on the field. I think I won't say, I blame the field. Like, you know, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I think when you see these guys come back home, you're going to see a much more polished game. But it is what it is. You know, everybody, like I said, everybody has to play on the same field. Talked about the little halftime debauchery with the clock. I want to talk about the one play early in the game. An amazing. It wasn't a huge play. It wasn't necessarily even a game-changing play, but it was a play that showed you the level of quality quarterback that C.J. Stroud is. When he slipped initially and was still able to convert, I mean, you had to respect that. And then what it was, I think on 3rd and 13, he had the run right before that. So, you know, and that's not something you often see him do, but it was good to see that, you know, just to know that is in his repertoire. But that was a hell of a play. That was a hell of a play.
And I wanna give some love to Danielle Hunter too. You know, he didn't really make any big splash plays on the game, but on that last drive, he had those 2 back-to-back plays where he was able to affect Richardson while he was trying to throw the ball, and that really ended that drive for them. So shout out to him. I know he didn't get a sack or tackle for loss or anything today, but you know like they say, you know, football is a game of inches, and you know that last drive came down to him just getting his hands on Richardson as he was trying to throw the ball. So,
but shout out, who was it? Edwards and Bukowski or whatever his fucking name is that had sacks today. I want to say was 2 sacks. How many sacks?
Yeah, 2 sacks.
Yeah, 2 sacks. It was Edwards and they was caught.
How many sacks did I say we would get today?
You got it. The Mystic Male called it. It was something small that I noticed that I don't know if many people paid attention to. I look at little things. I look at little stuff that maybe, like say, some people might find it irrelevant, but I think that they have it's a quiet dynamic, if you will. When Diggs, I want to say, got that first touchdown, and his mouthpiece came out, and I want to say it was Nico went and picked it up and gave it back to him. Then you see the chemistry on the sidelines between the players. Like all these little, like to me, I feel like this team, this chemistry, the togetherness, the unity.
It's a unit.
Yeah. And I feel like it's one big unit. It's not hey, defense off. It's like everybody is supporting everybody. You know what I mean? Right. You see D'Amico amped up. You see, you know, when something kind of goes wrong, you see him, hey, don't worry about it, Triple. He's trying to just, hey, you know, get their mind off it, forget about it, get into the next play. You know, stuff like that. And to me, that matters. Now, there's a couple of linemen whose names previously mentioned that won't be said mentioned who gave up some sacks sitting there standing and looking. You know what I'm talking about? Sitting there standing and looking and not talking, or not picking quarterbacks up off the ground stuff. But we ain't going to get into that, you know. But it is what it is. But overall, like I said, it's just it's not too much negative that you can harp on, but the negative that you can harp on can be detrimental in the future. Again, against better throwing quarterbacks, you know, more accurate quarterbacks, there could be a potential problem. So looking at that, do you think that this was just an off game by Ward, or do you think that the Texans may need to be looking for some help in that area?
Well, I would say, once again, you know, I don't want to put too much into the first game, but, you know, he is a veteran. He should have, if there's anybody that's not making those mistakes, it should be him. But I would like to give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt because some of those plays were a little off script. But it's not like Ward has been one of the best cover safeties in his career. So, he's not a shutdown guy by any means. And to be fair, that last one he gave up, he was there. Pierce, I think Pierce is the receiver. He just made the play on him. So I'm not gonna feed into that too much. But I think overall, just the coverage by the secondary has to get better.
Like I said, just that would be if one unit were, it would be the secondary. Because like I said, there was a couple plays too where Sting I was just like, that's not the Sting I'm used to. You had a couple big plays by Ward, but even though you did have some great plays by great play by Bullock. That would be my question. And again, like the O-line in the passing game today, because there was a couple plays like somebody like Don Juan just mentioned. It was a couple plays where it looked like motherfuckers just getting through untouched, like the whole D-line just getting through untouched. And that's unacceptable. With all the money that you have invested in that offensive line, there's no way anything like that should be happening. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah. But again, it's like, but and I know y'all saying it's only week 1, but what's the saying? You don't overlook things in a win that you would
that you wouldn't overlook in a loss.
Yeah, so whether it be week 1 and then use this to move forward or to go ahead.
No, you good.
Yeah. Petrie, what are your thoughts on Petrie right now?
I mean, let's be real, man. I think that if we're talking about that touchdown, AR's a big dude, man. You know what I'm saying? I think he might have made that play on anybody in the secondary. But you got to give him credit. He put his head down and went in there and tried to make the play. It's not like he got hoed, But, AR is AR.
So, I agree. I'm with the shit. I know you say, we trample them. Well, shit, we ran all over their ass. We ain't necessarily, it ain't show up on the scoreboard as a trampling. But shit, I mean, like I said, we ran all over the fuck. What was the total run, the total yardage? I know what's his name had like $150.
Yeah, he had $159. I know CJ had like 20 yards rushing. Pierce had maybe 15 yards rushing. So, yeah, close to 200 yards rushing, if not 200.
Yeah, that's pretty close. So, like I say, just ultimately, there's not a lot of negativity. So,
yeah,
I'm going to embrace the win. Huh?
And like they're saying in the chat, overall, Petrie had a good game. Yeah, that was really his one bad play was giving up that touchdown. And like I said, that's a man running at you. Yeah. Ain't too much you could do about that.
No shit, $199 on the money. That's crazy.
$199. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, he's a big dude. It looked like he kind of hurt his hand towards the end of the game. Do you think that's going to be a thing, or do you think it's just maybe a little jam?
Well, that's kind of what I was talking about when Danielle Hunter was able to get his hands on him. He hit his wrist. I mean, the way he's been injury prone, it could be something. It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm going to see Flacco next week. So, if you were to give this game an overall rating, we'll give it a school grade. And this is for the chat too. You'll know if I'm asking questions in the stream, I'm asking y'all the questions in the chat too. This is a participation grade. What do you give this? What do you give this game performance by the Texans? What do you give this game performance by the Colts?
I would say for us a B+. It's a lot they left a lot to be desired on both sides of the ball in certain instances. For the Colts, I would probably give them a C+, maybe B- at best. Because really, I think this game came down to our ability to stop the run as far as Jonathan Taylor goes. For us to hold him to 48 yards on 16 carries, which, again, I predicted 52 yards on 15 carries, and I think he lost 3 to 4 yards on that last carry. So I think that was really the deciding factor, because had he got going, who knows how that game would have turned out. Also, he only had 1 touchdown on the day after that block punt. So really didn't provide them much, and it just goes to show, like, I think we'll have a great run stopping defense this year, which was an issue for us last year and the years before. So I mean, he's averaged 150 yards on us a game. So to hold him to 48 yards on 16 attempts is huge.
Absolutely. And I kind of agree. I think I agree. Texans, BB plus. Because like I say, you got to think about, there were some notable names that didn't necessarily go off. There are going to be games where they are going to go off. So I don't think you saw all your key players really get some shine. Like you mentioned earlier, Schultz really didn't do too much. Dale, I think, had a couple of opportunities that were missed for him. So I feel like once this offense is kind of maybe a little more cohesive, or like I say, all right, whatever little kinks they have going on in the passing game as far as, letting that pressure in, then I would say it'd be a little bit better defensively. Again, we just keep talking about the back end. That's, you don't like it, but again, you still get the win. Colts. I give the Colts a B minus, right? Because you played a hard-fought game. It is what it is. It's all within the rules of the game. But again, like, to me, the consistency wasn't there. With the Texans, you saw consistency in each drive. You saw consistency defensively. It would just be a fluke here, a fluke there, that would amount to huge yardage, amounts to big plays. You know what I mean? And so, like, but again, you still have to make those plays. You still have to, convert those drives. So I mean, I give him a B minus. I don't think it was great. At this point, looking forward to, what do you think we say? We got the Bears next week. What do you think is going to be the biggest thing that the Texans are going to need to focus on this week in preparation for the Bears next week? Or do you think the Bears will be an easier game than the divisional game with the Colts?
No, I actually think it would be a harder game, because I actually think Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than Anthony Richardson, better pure passer of the ball. Because if AR-15 was a better passer and more accurate, we could have possibly lost this game today. Like I said, he missed Adonai Mitchell twice wide open for touchdowns. So I think that's the main thing that they're going to have to focus on going into that Bears game, is not giving up those big plays, not having lapses in coverage, making sure you're keeping up on your assignments and not just getting caught out there in la la land. Because some guys were just like, what are you doing? You're not even, like, there's a guy that's, nobody's around him 10 yards. Like,
Yeah.
so we cannot have that happen with a guy that can really put the touch on the ball, because he's going to make us pay. So.
Is his ability to put the touch on the ball because he paints his fingernails?
That's a different touch on the ball.
I'm gonna throw a mark my motherfucking words out here. Before his career is over, I don't know how long his career will be. Sometimes it don't trip, but I think Caleb Williams will be the first starting NFL quarterback to open the closet door. I'll leave it at that.
Disclaimer, my crystal ball had nothing to do with that prediction. I just want that to be known.
Yeah. Hey, Kyrie been balling. What they said, he's had, 7 or 8 in a row from beyond 50?
Yeah.
So,
shout out to Kaimi. I think every field goal he kicked today was over 50, right?
Kaimi Coco Bata.
Right down the middle. So shout out to him. And we just gotta hope he stays healthy the whole year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you said Caleb was 14 for 29 for 93. Oh no. But who the Bears played? Who the Bears played?
Hey, the Titans, but hey, they got the dub.
Yeah.
They were down 70-3 at one point. I think in the third quarter they were down 70-3, came back and won 24-17. So, you know.
Okay. Yeah, and that's also like I say, you know, with this defense, it's solid. But like what you get Audrey, Audrey got a few games, but then you get Harris back. We said 3 games. So, I mean, you still have weapons that. This isn't a complete Texas defense, you know what I mean? So
Right.
And can they stay healthy by the time they get those 2 guys back? That's going to be even greater.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, goddamn tight. What did what's his name put up? What did Buddy Lee put up? Fucking Will Levi's.
Will Levis.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. I think he threw 1 touchdown. And like 100-some yards. I don't even think he threw more than 200 yards.
Yeah, Will Anderson was kind of missing today. I did notice that too. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, there's not going to be many games where you're not going to see Will Anderson's name popping up on the stat sheet for sacks, if not multiple. Same with Daniil Hunter. Like, so that's why I say this game.
Yeah,
it's a good start.
The pass rush wasn't there, but he was super active in stopping the run. I mean, man, he was playing violent as far as stopping the run goes. I saw him make some pretty good tackles, and also like keeping Taylor from breaking a couple of those and keeping it to a 6-yard gain instead of 15, 20-yard gain. So I thought he played well overall. They just got to figure out that rushing the passer part of it. But like we keep saying, it's the first game. I think both sides of the ball have things to figure out, and I think they'll be fine by midseason.
And the most important question of the day today: who is a better actor in the HEB commercials? Is it C.J. Stroud or Deshaun Watson?
Well, now that we know Deshaun Watson's true villainous nature, we have to say he is the best actor of all time. Because look at what he was doing behind the scenes. So,
yeah. Deshaun Cosby, yeah, that's true. That's very funny. He was acting while he was acting.
Right, as the kids like to say, his true nature is diabolical.
You know, mostly people say no Diddy. He was like Mo Diddy. So, you know, there's that. God damn. Oh man, we've been through too much as Texans fans. We gotta enjoy every little win we get. Today was a great win. Let me see something. Where we at? Just gonna rock a little bit longer. So is there any point, maybe something that we may have missed, something that you may have wanted to touch on specifically, people in the chat? Any questions, comments, things that you guys have that y'all want to ask? That's on your mind. Something that.
I just want to say, like, it showed that we really are a legit team and a different team than Texans teams in the past by the fact that we stayed composed as that game was coming down to the wire. You know, because we've seen it plenty of times where I don't even want to say the guy with the ass on his face lost composure, didn't clock management was not up to par. Just bad decision making towards the end of games as they started to get away from you. And you didn't see any of that. Everybody was calm, cool, collected the whole time, you know, and did their job. So, you know, that's one thing that I think a lot of people overlook, but that, you know, that could, many people would say that's the most crucial part of football is when the, you know, in the most clutch moments is staying poised. And getting things done, not letting the moment get to you. So, yeah, just wanted to point that out. That glad that we finally have a team that can do that when the going gets a little tough. They don't crack to the pressure. So,
speaking about Texans with bad acting, watching that goddamn, was that a Paramount Plus commercial or whatever? I think it was him and then like Tua and whatever it was. They were trying to make it seem like everybody was mispronouncing. That is a terrible commercial. J.J. Watt, Hall of Fame, all-time great. Terrible fucking commercial.
Terrible actor. Also terrible shit talker.
Yeah. Oh. We said, hey, your burrito's bigger than you. Oh, terrible. terrible. Well, yeah, and again, I understand like people saying that it was close, and it was close, but was it ever really a time that you felt like the Texans didn't have this game, and it was just uncomfortable more so than worrisome to me? Like, I felt like it was going to be a win, even when, like I say, they would kind of get back in pocket, but like I say, to me, it was more uncomfortable than I was worried. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, same. I didn't like that we were in that position, but because there were some plays that we could have made where, like I said, that touchdown it should have been a touchdown to Tank. Had he thrown that ball to the inside, the game's not even as close. So it was uncomfortable, but I never had any concern because, like I said, we could look at the sideline and see how composed everybody was. There was no doubt in our head coach's face. We knew the right calls were going to be made. So never at one point did I think we were going to lose that game.
And that also because we used to get on the butt-faced one because of the lack of creativity in his play calling. Do you see that being an issue with Bobby or Miko or on either side of the ball?
No, I won't say creativity wise because he has some pretty creative plays. I think my only concern with Bobby is the timing of some of his calls. Like I think it was a wide receiver screen that he tried on a second down, like just bad timing. You just got stuffed on a run, I believe, right before that, and then you try to hurry up and throw a wide receiver screen. It's just, that's my only issue with him is the timing of some of his calls. But overall, I think today was pretty good as far as play calling goes. Probably one of his better games as our OC. So I ain't gonna get on him too bad. He made a couple, questionable calls, but overall he did a pretty good job today.
What is David Culley doing right now?
Who?
Yeah, they did show some aggressiveness because they did go on fourth a couple of times. And I like that aggressiveness. I'm not gonna lie. I like the fact that you had the faith and the trust in your team to go on fourth because we know certain previous regimes, they give up on second. Right. If they get second and long, they were already planning to punt. So yeah.
Hey, you know what's funny? We laughing and making jokes, but David Culley living his best fucking life right now. That man got paid.
Yeah, David Culley is living his best life as a white man right now. Like, that nigga got money. And look, you get a low fade. He probably got a player mode on. Like I say, he probably is a Cancun. He overseas somewhere. Talking about, thank you, Tex. I'm rooting for y'all too. Yeah. That's super
as a white man. Yeah.
Oh man, what? You said after he got paid, turned 3. Yeah, his credit score went up like fucking 200 points. So shit. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, Culley probably. Did anybody ever have a sweeter gig than Culley? He got paid to do absolutely. He got paid to basically be a fall guy, and like everybody knew it. Like there were no expectations. There were nothing from that dude, and he collected a check. I don't think we still could. It was one point we were paying 2 or 3 coaches and a couple of GMs. I think all that should be done by now, but it may still.
Cully out there saying, "Call me Blanco."
Oh shit. Let's see. That's so funny today. But okay. Well, like I said, man, we ain't gonna rock too long today. I know usually we do the sauce line, we take calls. We're not gonna do it today. But we will get back rocking and back on schedule during the week. It'll probably be more pre-recorded. Might not be as many lives for a few particular reasons, but definitely start looking forward to more, pre-recorded content. Make sure you follow Saul Sports on all the proper social media. Saul Sports HTX on Instagram, on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck it's called now. I think I have a Threads account. Does anybody use Threads? I think I accidentally signed up for the account because you be on Instagram. You want a Threads account, you hit that hoe and it just make you one. So I don't think I use that. I'm sure there's a Saul Sports TikTok account that has absolutely nothing on it somewhere. I don't think I know the password for. But yeah, so make sure you're following on all that. Anything you want to say, Mr. Mystic Mel, before we get ready to wrap it up here?
Shout out to all the fresh ingredients. We appreciate all y'all support. Y'all hit that like button, share, subscribe. We got some big things behind the scenes that we trying to make happen for the channel. So y'all just stay tuned with us. I won't be live too much because of some things that I got going on, but we're gonna try to get y'all some pre-recorded Mystic Mel content, and y'all tap in with me if y'all got any ideas for us. Let us know. Shout out to y'all.
Gab is still a thing. Is that still a thing? And if anybody's using Telegram, I would advise you to cease and desist immediately because they arrested the fucking CEO of that shit.
The creator.
So you know what that means. And I'm not gonna get into I'm not even gonna get into the politics. And for those of you who fuck with the Den, I know, it has been a minute. We'll probably rock tonight. There's a lot of shit I want to talk about, a lot of shit I want to get into. I may keep it kosher. I may not get too political tonight, but there's so much political shit to talk about. But yeah, that Tyreek Hill thing is very interesting. I want to know what happens with that because the outcome of that is going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. But with that being said, man, I want to say shout out to J Mel. Shout out to the round. I'm not sure if Spit's still live. Make sure if he is, go check Spit's out. Make sure you're supporting everybody. I know Wink been up and getting it back going again, so make sure you following Wink, checking out his content. But with that being said, man, like I say, Sauce Nation, y'all are the freshest ingredients. Y'all are what makes the sauce. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. Yeah, that's that. And for those of you who want about the Den, just go to thedenshow.com. It'll take you to the Den. And you gotta understand that the internet is a terrible place, so I gotta disappear sometimes. So yeah, but it is what it is. With that being said, chugging up the deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. But most of all, Sauce Nation, y'all stay saucy. And shout out to everybody who ended up joining the Patreon, joining the Discord. I definitely appreciate that. If y'all enjoyed yourselves in the conversation today, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Y'all stay saucy. And we out. Yeah. That baby ain't mine. Like,